Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the bubbly bather herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. Blah, 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 blah.
It is episode 134 and February 15th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Wednesday, February 17th, Saturn square Uranus.
Double difficult.
Thursday, February 18th, Sun ingress Pisces.
Happy birthday, dreamers. And you too, Alex.
Friday, February 19th, Venus square Mars.
Agree to disagree.
Saturday, February 20th, Mercury stations direct.
What have you learned?
Then in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up many talismans we're going to tell you about, and 3 very special upcoming. Saturday, February 20th, they all happen to refine my spirit, to know my well thought out plan, and to benefit by the stillness. Then on the horizon, we have our very special Saturn square Uranus webinar for download, our March forecast, our 7-day intention challenge, and the constellation bracelet workshop announcement for the summer solstice. Then in our house, Sandy and I are going to talk about our self-care practices and our bubbly bath ceremony. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions. And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce. And so you finally know you control where you go. Hello, bubbly bather.
It's true. And you were in your bubble bath in your bathroom.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yes. So I first wanted to go direct to you all. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you get tired of me thanking you, I don't know what to do, because every single week that you come back, you listen to my mom and I talk astrology and talk bubble baths. I mean, every single week I'm grateful. So thank you so much. This message comes from a longtime tribe member of ours, even back in the She-Bee days, Sheila. And man, it's been years. I think, what?
6, 7?
I think longer than that.
Probably.
So she wrote me an email. She says, "Hi, Alex. First of all, congratulations on your first hire crystal. I hope her addition will ease your stress level in maintaining the high quality of intention beads. Speaking of which, Sandy is the hardest working astrologer in the business. I don't know how she has the energy to create all those talismans, create and conduct webinars, and do client consultations. Everything you two produce is first class. Love the podcasts and keep up the wonderful work. Hugs, Sheila."
It really makes me want to cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you for recognizing it. And it's because of you and you and you and you and you that feed me.
Mhm.
You know, this is my hobby turned business. And so if you love what you do and is your hobby,
Right.
and you do it all the time, turn it into a business making, money making, so that you can continue to do what you love the most. And it's what I've done. This is the second time I've changed a hobby and tweaked it into my career. And they've been, successful.
I think you've done that
Because-
even more, because you used to even do those crafty things
Yeah.
back when I was a little girl,
Yeah.
and you turned that into a business too.
Yeah, that was like sub business. Like that was side hustle, right?
Okay.
But main hustle.
It was your side hustle that led up to your big businesses.
Yeah.
So let's move on into the transits. We're starting off this week astrologically with Wednesday, February 17th. And this is your conflict day and your astrological interesting day. So let's...
This is the day double difficult. And this is the first of 3 passes of the Saturn square Uranus. They're both in fixed sign. Saturn's in Aquarius. That's air fixed. Saturn rules Aquarius, and it's square to Uranus, the planet of liberation and freedom, is in Taurus. That's also earth fixed. So yeah, this is the combination. It's an interesting day. It's the planet of Saturn, of structure, of the big no, the stop. And Uranus is, I don't think so. I'm going to get out of here anyway. And if I have to break through brick, I will get out. And so it really is the biggest transit of conflict that we'll all be experiencing here on this planet Earth from this day, February 17th, and through until December 23rd. So right as we get to the Christmas holiday. And so Saturn, the reality check, confronts Uranus, the liberation and change. They're not retrograde here. They will be retrograde throughout the middle of this pass. We'll let you know when that occurs. And are you focused on the right path? Is there change? There's change going on in the world. There's change going on, and we don't know what it is really. I mean, we sit in this as we record this knowing we don't know outcomes yet. We don't know solutions. We're trying to come up with them. And so there's two ideas here. It's like the order to change with difficulty, right? I'm just using the keywords. Order is Saturn. Change is Uranus, and difficulty is the square. We could talk about refusal to liberate, that there's a delay in it, and that refusal and delay is the Saturn, and the liberate is the Uranus. So there's this feeling of, experimentation and experiences. So it's like having to be in the moment to see what works best. So, are you focused on your right path? If you're in flux, stay in the flux. If you're not in flux, you might have a bigger mountain to climb if you're not in that ability to, start moving back and forth so that you can understand that this change may change something in your life, right? And that if you start moving, because it's all fixed, right? If you're stuck in your ways. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that we were all, reconvened into the home, and we've built up some habits here. And I know I have.
And that even reminds me of the phrase that the only thing in this world that is constant is change.
It's true. And so we'll talk more about that. In fact, Susan Goodell and I, the financial astrologer, my girlfriend, has put together the webinar that we did on Wednesday night. So that's available for download.
Yes.
It's already recorded. And it's very interesting if you're interested in the financial aspect of this. She does some really, she's a research financial astrologer and watches all the markets. And she's done the square, we're in the waning square of the Saturn Uranus, and she's got graphs. We've got, it's worth the $25, folks. It's worth it. Mm-hmm. This will set you up for seeing the changeability that you have available should you choose to change.
And Thursday, February 18th, Sun ingress Pisces.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah. The Sun prefers this sign above being in the Aquarian sign where, the Sun is now as we record this. Because it's in its detriment. Sun rules Leo. Opposite Leo is Aquarius. So the Sun is in his detriment. And he's not so vital here. So it's about now moving into this water bath, this cleansing in your nakedness. Pick some creative healing vibrations. Cleanse, purify. Really interesting that we were gifted a
bubble
bath ritual by an amazing artist in London. And so she was in our bathroom with us, right?
That sounds creepy, but yes, we'll explain later.
Yeah. So we'll explain in our house, but to go into this place where, it's this mystical, it's compassionate, it's wanting to bring your artistic level up, your artistic bootstraps, right?
I like that.
Yeah, and one last thing too, because the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, and Jupiter is now seen as a morning star. Jupiter comes up before the sun now, which is called Oriental, which Jupiter and Saturn both prefer that, where they get to, announce the sun coming up. So it always happens around 2 weeks after the conjunction of the planets. Well, and this was because I'm talking about Jupiter. So both of them are above, come up before you can see them.
And so you were saying that Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. That's traditional ruler.
Yes.
And the modern ruler is Neptune.
Yes.
Cool.
Good.
So Friday, February 19th, Venus square Mars. Agree to disagree.
We ready for that? 5:04 p.m. It's a square. And it could be through relationships because you're at odds with someone. You're not seeing eye to eye. So watch your action. Make sure you're fighting the same battle. Have you ever been in a disagreement of sorts, or it turns into an argument that turns into a fever and slamming doors and leaving and pretend because in the moment you're so heated? Well, you may not even be fighting on the same level or in the same battle. So you need to wait here to agree on a solution in a few days. So just say, you know what? We're not agreeing right now. This is upsetting me. I know this is upsetting you. Can we just shelve this?
And agree to disagree.
And agree to disagree. And let's bring it up in 3 days' time. Let's put the elf on the shelf. Let's put the problem, the conflict on the shelf. It's right here. And let's pull it down. We'll put a timer on it in 3 days. So yeah, just be attuned to that, because it can be, but it can, it's kind of like reminds me of like the pestle and the mortar. It's like
that grinding.
And it's sometimes good to actually look at each other from a different perspective. You can start a new project that way, but not through anger, not through push and shove.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And Saturday, February 20th, Mercury stations direct. Yay.
Yay. At 11 degrees of Aquarius. This is at 6:52 p.m. What have you learned? Now, go ahead and keep on your chosen path. Now, chosen is the key word here. We're Mercury, so it's the key word. Because Mercury has been collected a note from the sun. Then the moon passed by and grabbed that note. Or maybe the moon gave Mercury a message. And then Mercury hit Venus. They passed in the night along the path. They're going on the same path, but Mercury's going backwards. Venus is moving forward. And then Jupiter. So it's the Mercury-Jupiter passing of notes along the same path. So what is being said? It reminds me of, the post office, or what is that called? The
telephone.
The telephone. Because the chosen path, something might have changed. And it's the two benefics in the moon. So there's some good news here. There's some better news. There's some new perspective. So what have you learned and what have you chosen? Now, I will say that Mercury stays in the shadow until March 14th, which just means the shadow period is no longer retrograde. It's never retrograde in the shadow period, by the way. It just means it's now retracing areas, which would be degrees, in the sky that it has already passed. And this will be the third time it's passed those degrees. So it's kind of like locking in something. Yeah.
Well, sounds like a cool week. I mean, especially because my birthday's on the horizon soon.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's the beginning of that, Saturn square Uranus. So, just kind of be aware of what you need to change that you may be refusing to change that needs change. Yeah.
And keyword here is change. So let's move into Talisman times. You've finished up so many So many talismans this week. It's crazy. And you've also started the Constellation Bracelet Workshop, and you had the fullest week. And we'll talk about that later in our house. But Wednesday, let's start off with the talismans. Wednesday, February 10th, you created 3 different talismans. The first, to be known as an expert.
That's sold.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Wednesday, February 10th, to retreat in calm solitude.
Universe has granted me permission to step out of daily life and into a new peaceful territory. Therefore, I listen, step in, and find exactly its message. So this really is the moon and the Venus and the Jupiter in the 12th house, with the Jupiter being the ruler. It really allows you to, maybe you put this in your bathtub. Maybe this is the talisman that you don't wear, that you put into your, on your bathtub or in a little altar in your bathroom, that is about, and you look over at it and go, oh, you know what? Tonight's a bathtub night, or tonight's the peace and solitude. So, you may want to put this on, call this in on a day off.
Yeah, or even when you're winding down for the night. I mean, really, you don't. And I think that, we as busy people these days really focus on, I need a completely free day in order to relax in this calm solitude. But really, we could even take a short amount of time and really drop in, and it will be just as meaningful and just as rejuvenative.
Yeah, it reminds me of those 20-minute power naps I used to have when I was running She Beads, when I had that company, that there would be so many charitable events that I would be either hosting or in charge of, and there'd be downtown Chicago. And the studio was north in Evanston or Wilmette or Glenview. I had a couple of them. And it would be like working all day with the 40 employees, getting everything out, and coming home to change into my, dressy outfit, and laying on the bed and thinking, can I gather enough reoccurring energy to get up, drive downtown, and attend this charity event that I was either hosting or supporting in some way, because we did 27 charities with our She Beads business, which might need to be a conversation in our house sometime.
Yeah. And your next talisman, Wednesday, February 10th, to plant a seed with discernment that brings success.
I expand my garden. I nurture and cultivate the many rows of interests. I harvest life and wisdom. This is the moon at the midheaven at the 25th lunar mansion, which does bring the growth, the fruition, the expansion, the spreading of information, or planting and sowing seeds. This one's a cool one.
Yeah. And I love the imagery of that, just because, we're planting seeds all the time.
Yeah. And I like what you harvest here: life and wisdom.
Yeah. Thursday, February 11th, to be favored.
In demure style, I am seen. Just as I conclude the cycle of my life, my past efforts are noticed. All eyes are on me. I'm quietly grateful. We can hear the receptive quality here, just even in my voice, because this talisman was done at the balsamic moon phase. Now, as a talisman maker, you really want to be careful on where the moon is, and you want the moon to have great light. So in its waxing, and just as it's finished its full moon cycle. And so here it's the disseminating. It's just degrees away. So it's about a wrapping up. It's about a concluding. So if I'm using, as a talisman maker, if I'm using the energy correctly, I have to write. Yeah, that's a true statement. That I have to write this. And this was just right at the ascendant at 12 degrees of Aquarius. And there is the Venus and Jupiter at 12, both of them at 12 degrees Aquarius. So this Thursday, February 11th, is that time to, have your eyes noticed, have eyes on you, and that for your past efforts, right? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
To be favored.
And the final one is Monday, February 15th, to return to what is important. So this is kind of like a bridge one. So it might fall into the upcoming, but it was so early in the morning we included it last week.
Right. To return to what is important. I am what is important. I return to myself, to my desires, to my talents, to my gifts, and to all my blessings. I see them all in their various forms. I'm back.
Oh my gosh, that totally reminds me of the movie we watched, The Greatest Showman, again.
I feel like crying right now, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Don't feel sorry. Pisces season is looming. And, you know, that song, From Now On, that's such a good song. It's your favorite song on there.
Oh my God, tell me about it. We cried last
Well, no,
night.
because when everything comes down, when everything crumbles, what is there and what is left is what's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it makes such a big difference of really noticing what is real and what is not real. And those times of destruction and chaos, you find out pretty easily.
And you can always build again, right? That's what you're referring to. It's just like I'm down and out. Everything that I've worked toward, all my investment, all my time, all my money, all my dreams, all my hopes, all my wishes, everything is crumbled now. Right. You're talking about that, his circus burned down. Right. And he doesn't have any money and he owes and his house is taken and his wife leaves and, takes the kids. Oh, my gosh. Right. And his tribe. Oh, my gosh. I can't talk.
No, and it's a beautiful. So if you have not watched this movie, one, I'm shocked. And two, just go and rent it. I mean, now we have movie theaters in our own living room, so you have no excuse. You can just rent it right there. Watch this movie. Even if you don't like musicals, just power through it because it's a beautiful story. So let's move on to the upcoming talismans.
Okay. Oh, and this is a good one to start with.
Saturday, February 20th, to refine my spirit.
As I turn the corner, I immediately sense the change in atmosphere. Boy, oh boy, this shift of breeze lifts me up from the place where I had been. Empowerment is how I describe it. What is wrong with you today?
There's nothing wrong. You're just connecting to that sincerity of those words.
Okay. And this is really an interesting time period because this Mercury in its stationing direct is literally standstill for 8 days. And so there's a pause. There's a pause in messages. So it's like we can get sleep here. Mercury is not moving.
Right.
There's just a peacefulness here. And so to refine my spirit, wow. And it's in the second decan of Aquarius, and it's right at the midheaven with Jupiter and this Mercury moving direct, moving toward Jupiter again. Yeah.
And same day. So all of these upcoming talismans are happening on this Saturday, February 20th. The next one, to know my well thought out plan.
And this is right after. And we're also doing a constellation bracelet workshop. One of the talisman times is on this day. It's on Sunday. Sorry, it's the next day. But to know my well thought out plan, I have remained quiet while I make all connections from every nerve ending of my body. And the message I receive is my compass direction. In other words, I may not have known what I was going to do in the retrograde phase, but here as Mercury stands still, as it conjoins Jupiter, I know my wealth. I know it. I know it.
Right. And I love that. The third talisman.
It's on Sunday, by the way. I think you had that wrong in the notes.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I did. So Sunday, February 21st, there are only 2 talismans on the 20th, but one on the 21st, to benefit by the stillness.
Mercury's still retro, or still. Moon is making a trine to Venus, and the Mercury again is standing still. To benefit by the stillness, I stay in this process. By me pausing, I collect all the details and discoveries that is needed to see the beautiful results coming into view.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool. It is right in front of you. All of the beauty, everything you need is right there in front of you. All you have to do is open up your eyes. Beautiful, beautiful message. I love that.
Yeah, and can I just talk about this one? We're going to be talking about to improve thoughts, ideas, and perceptions. That's our intention for our Constellation Bracelet Workshop group, which is started already.
Yeah, and it's been amazing so far.
We've had 2 sessions already, and well, are we going to talk about that at all?
Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
So just as a reminder, the orbit of the month is I am mentally alert. That's all about this Mercury retrograde and this Mercury stationing direct that we're talking about. Also, the moon phase rings are back in stock. And really fun note and update is that there is now a size 6. Before we only had sizes 7 and 8, but now we have 6, 7, and 8. So let's move on into the horizon. The CWS webinar, this was recorded last week. It is available and on the website for download. Go ahead and in the description, you'll find the links or just head over to intentionbeads.com. Then we have our March forecast coming up. This is our Facebook Live free event, February 27th. Please RSVP, click that link and make sure that you follow us and you get all those notifications of when we go live. You won't want to miss all this beautiful information. And the March cheat sheet will be following shortly after. Then we are announcing our second 7-day intention challenge of this year. That starts April 10th to the 16th. I will get you links as soon as I possibly can. And another announcement is the summer solstice constellation bracelet workshop. Right now we're in the spring equinox, but the summer solstice is happening May 11th to June 24th.
Can I just talk quickly about that?
Yes, you can.
Oh my gosh. That will encompass the first season of eclipses. And these eclipses are nice eclipses. Bernadette Brady, who is one of my mentors, who is the eclipse queen, has, in her book, she talks about how, the last few eclipses that we've had the last 18 months have been really difficult, really, really difficult. And we know we've lived through it, and here we are. And this next grouping, the one we get in the summer, and the one we get in the 6 months later in November, December, are good. They're promising, they're hopeful, they're optimistic eclipses. So this summer solstice will include the eclipses and something that hasn't happened in 12 years is the Jupiter moving into Pisces.
Oh, nice.
Now it just goes in there for about 2.5 months, but that gives us a foreshadowing idea of what is to come in 2022. So this is a hot one. I wanted to put this, make this available because this will be one that I think more than 8 people will want to join.
Yeah. So it is available to sign up now. Just head down to the link in the description and we'll see you there. We're so excited. Again, these constellation bracelet workshops are a very intimate look at your chart, a very intimate look at your desire. What are you here for? What do you want to create in your life? And the group that we bring together is like this perfect mixing pot of support and love and awareness.
The group we have now, it's like we even open up a little bit in advance of the start time so that everyone, because it's not a chit chat kind of place. I teach for about 10-15 minutes about the chart of the
longer
moment.
than that.
Oh, okay. And then get into everybody's natal chart, how that energy interrelates to their natal chart. And we talk about what happened today or what happened recently. And
Right.
there are situations, it's like, oh, it's because of this. And then they get to set their affirmation, and they get to be heard. They get to be seen. It's really cool to discuss desires with people that you may not know,
Right.
but you're listening to them, and it's immediate connection.
And it is how we all approach in this group is come as you are. There is no, you don't have to have this business face on. You don't have to have like a courageous face, or we don't, go deep and hit you in the gut for your vulnerability. It's come as you are and really experience what's going on around you, but more importantly, what's going on inside of you.
Yeah, and I roll a bead. You've set up a little rig over here. Is that I always thought it was Jimmy rig. It's a Jerry rig.
Oh, got the name
I used to
wrong.
say Jimmy rig. My friend Susan said, it's Jerry rig. I'm like, I don't know. I've been saying it for 60 years. And I went and Googled it. It's Jerry rig. Anyway, you did something here to put a little camera so
Right.
people get to watch the bead making
Right.
that I make for them during their affirmation announcement.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so super cool. But here's what I want to say, Alex. It's ready. It's on the website already? What?
It is, yeah.
Did you have help with that? How did that get?
I did.
How did you get that up already? That's like 2 months away.
Well, it is the exact same product page for all of the different seasons. So I will say it's a lot easier. It just wound up being on the top of my list one day, and I did it. So anyway.
Thanks, Crystal, for taking off some of the other parts of the list.
Yes. So let's move into our house. We want to talk about our self-care practices, especially when things get super duper busy like they did this past week, and our bubble bath ceremony. So and it's so interesting that just recently I was asked by one of my friends to, as an entrepreneur, say what I find my best self-care practices are, or how to stay focused during the hustle, and I think that that's a really important thing right now. And my two answers were stop the distractions, because it's so easily to get distracted by the little tiny things that happen throughout the day, whether it's a text message or just a flashy little light on your phone. And we both agree that we're calling it deep focus. This place where you can go where you don't have to have this feeling of, what am I missing? Is there something else? Is something else happening outside of these walls that I need to be paying attention to? No, because what is most important is what you're working on right now. And I think that in doing this prioritizing and reprioritizing, it's so important. Then my second answer for what do I do for self-care is meditate. When I can meditate and just be still and not do anything and not be planning, and sometimes it does wind up be planning, but it's such a passive way to plan, and it's such a creative way of planning, because really you're relaxing your body so deeply that anxiety, that space grows, the anxiety lessens, and you can just be there. And whatever pops into your mind, you see it, you become aware of it, and you let it go. And it's a wonderful way of just training your mind. So
what 32-year-olds can teach 64-year-olds some techniques?
Of course.
It's true.
And vice versa.
It's true. Yeah, because one of the things last week I was getting literally, I don't know if it was a mini panic or a challenge.
Let's see. You were cautious. You were so like your cautiousness was like on a heightened level that I've almost never seen before, where you were almost like, I don't know if I can do all of this. And so what that meant to me was, okay, we need to make sure that we set up appropriate boundaries for you of time spent with readings, time spent with working on all the things that we work on. And I think that creating those boundaries is really important, but also going with the flow. However, you always say it is you prepare and then you go with the flow, is also important too.
It was because of the Constellation Bracelet Workshop, and we did we knew it was coming in, and as we announced it, there was like this, and it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction, but it was like there wasn't much time from the announcement to the sign-ups to preparing 12 charts per person, and then having to do 12 times
it was just under 100 charts that you not only had to do but analyze, solidify, and distill
and talk through, because
right.
Each one of the people, groups, tribe members got at least an hour to an hour and a half of me going through each one of these 12 charts of what this constellation bracelet's going to be for them, so that they can plan ahead, so that when we get into the 1 hour or the 1 hour and a little bit over the Zoom calls that I've set up for the talisman making part, the talisman bead part, was just like, and I had my regular schedule
right
was filled, and then I had all these talismans to make, and I had personal intention because of this Jupiter Saturn.
You had to be on point,
and they're all timed.
Right.
Everything in my life is timed. So
and
I have
they were at 5 a.m. They were at 2 a.m.
Alarms. I have you've set up an alarm for me to eat lunch.
I have.
While I'm doing readings, I'm hearing, whoever's on the call with me, I'm like, did you hear that was that lady that lives in the box in the corner?
Well, what I haven't done yet is block you off for that time. But that's my next step.
And it says, Sandy, it's time for lunch. And then one of the funny things that we laugh about, whoever I'm on the call with, literally, it seems like 5 minutes later, but really it's 20 minutes had gone by, and it goes, Sandy, lunch is over. You have a few minutes to take a walk. I'm like, bitch, you know where I live? It is 5 below zero. I'm working. Shut up. So it's like, and besides, you know what? I didn't listen to you when you told me to eat lunch. So, I'm in charge here. But every time at 12 o'clock noon, Sandy, it's time for your lunch. I'm like,
I mean, it would also be a different thing if she like handed you the lunch as
that
she
would
said
be
that.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
funny.
The next Alexa.
Anyway, like I said, it was a week of, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a pinpoint.
Right.
And if I can get over what I've created, it was the
right.
challenge. If you've ever seen me when I'm up for a challenge, I'll put my elbow right on the table in front of me and put my hand up and say,
let's wrestle.
Let's
arm wrestle,
because I'll challenge it. Hey, you massive man with your nice looking muscles over there. You're going to beat me, but I'm going to try. Right. And I at least show up in honor without disgrace of running, screaming the other way, going, stay away from me. And I did it. I did probably over 100, and in consultations over 100 and I don't know, 117 charts this week.
Which is
everything else involved. And then we had a webinar
I mean,
that night, which was another like
valid.
That's another 20 something charts that I had to do.
Right.
So it was just like, oh my gosh, is my computer going to die or am I?
I mean, Sheila is right here. We have to come back to this, the going direct when Sheila said that you are the hardest working astrologer in the biz. I really think you are. I mean, I see it. I get it. I get to see firsthand, and I even see more than what anyone else sees. Mm-hmm. So, and you're constantly, and I think, in you and I discussing, this topic before last night was, you said you just have to love what you do, mm-hmm. and it won't feel like work. Mm-mm. So,
and we did it.
True,
by midnight, I think we were done with our second constellation bracelet workshop call or
around
ceremony.
11.
We'd started one in the morning on Friday morning, and then we did one finished around 11
We bookend from like the beginning of the day to the absolute end of the day. And it was nice. It was beautiful.
I want to talk about self-care a little bit. One of the things, and I think I've said it before, but I want to say it again, is one of the things that is really, I hope I don't cry here again, is in the mornings when I wake up, right? I'm not jump out of bed kind of person. I need a good half hour of like coming out of my Pisces dream state slowly to actually slowly get moving on the day. But when I get dressed, and trust me, it may be the same clothes that I had on the day before, and put a little bit of makeup on and moisturizer and brush my teeth and soak my feet, right, and make my bed. And last thing I do is look in the mirror in my bathroom as I'm leaving to go to work downstairs, as to say, hey, good luck today. You can do it. Let me know what this day's like when you come back up here. And I'll go back upstairs, prepare my bed, turn down my bed, put my pillows off to the side, turn down my bed, mm-hmm. and get my pajamas on. And I choose my pajamas on how I feel the day went. Do I need the nurturing top and bottom, that feels so soft, or do I put on my my bamboo, like kind of see-through black long gown, and I put on my jammies as my loungewear that equates to the day, and I'll put some more moisturizer on my face in the mirror, and I'm like, how'd it go today, girl? And I'm like, wow, I got through it. It was so awesome. And you know what? Now it's time to relax, mm-hmm. because probably in an hour I have a talisman to make. So I've got everything planned. I've got everything organized, and I'll just take that one little moment to go make a talisman for somebody who needs it. And that is my gift to the world. Wow. I didn't mean to say that last part.
No, that's beautiful.
It is my gift to the world to celebrate and cheerlead for everyone to be themselves. You chose it. Why did you choose to come in at that date, that time, with those parents, that sister, those brothers, no sisters? Mm-hmm. Be it. Be you.
Right.
Anyway, but
oh yeah. So we've been talking about this. We've been building this part up. Is the bath ceremony that we were gifted, and I mean, perfect time to really ring in.
Thank you, Leslie.
This, yes. And I kind of jumped in on it. It was supposed to be just with you, and it was a Zoom call, and you're kind of guided through this whole entire bubble bath ceremony. And it was so nice because it was almost a great way, because I mean, everyone here has got to know that there's so much of a difference when attending something live than recorded. Mm-hmm. There's just, you don't have the connection, even if it is digital and you're almost kind of like, it's the same. It's really not. When something is going live, you're so much more engaged. You're like, what's going to happen next? When it's recorded, you're kind of like, pause. I can pick this up later. So this bubble bath ceremony was live. We were talking to a woman in London
Can we say her name?
Yeah.
Allison David.
Yeah.
She's a singer, and she's rearranged again.
She's pivoted her business because, of course, she can't be going out and singing, and she has an extraordinary voice.
Man.
So imagine like getting, preparing a beautiful bubble bath for yourself.
She gives you a list of things that you should have prepared. She gives you the night before, like, don't forget to fill your tub up with warm water and, all these pieces. And she even does a 15-minute sound check days before. How crazy is that?
That's
she does
brilliant.
A sound check to know that you have good Wi-Fi in your bathroom.
Right. Because, not many people know.
Yeah.
So it was just beautiful. The processes that she brought in, her wisdom, her willingness to be there, her sense of leadership in just this like feminine way of being there with you and kind of taking you through these steps was really nice. And it's not like she's watching you naked in the bathtub. So that's when I was like laughing, being like, oh, this sounds creepy now. But you're also like, you're being observed some way. And, when
you can see her.
You can see her.
She says, you can turn your video off if you like. I guess some people do, some people don't. I did. And you're in your bathtub with your computer, and she talks to you, she sings to you, we set intentions. Then you have to breathe them out in a long inhale and exhale. And you said you were laughing at me.
Oh, well, I was for a little bit, but it's because I could hear both from the Zoom call and through the wall because you were doing it so loud, and you were in the bathroom. So it was really echoing, and our bathroom walls, I think, connect somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I would hear, like on the Zoom. So I'm like, this is too funny. But it was nice because I just allowed myself to laugh. I wasn't on, I was on mute. So I was just having like a giggly girly time. And that's what I did. Like I came as I was, and I allowed my giggly self to come out, and I'm happy. I'm proud of that. I'm not ashamed. Like I'm not like, oh, I didn't do it right. But yeah, her practices, we won't take them, we won't throw them all up here on the podcast, but of course, if you check her out, it's called the MMMMM bath
ritual. Allison David, she's in London, and it was 1:00 in the morning when she started, and 7:00 here in Chicago. So it was like, talk about love what you do. Right? 1:00 in the morning for a client. I mean, the funny thing is, it's like, oh my gosh, we can do it during the day so that you don't have to stay up so late. And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, hold on. I get up at 3:00 in the morning,
or
4:00 in the morning, or don't go to a concert. Of course, nothing's going on right now, but yeah. So let me receive. And it was kind of hard for me to receive that initially. But anyway, just wanted to say it came at a right time in the middle of the week where I thought, I don't know if I can even enjoy something that is self-care like this. Do I cancel because I am so fretted with timing? And it, because I had blocked it out, it showed up, and it was like, oh, half hour before our bath ritual, it's time to prepare. Get the water in.
Wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So it was perfect timing, and you do need to spend time and put it in your calendar. Put a,
and yeah, you can even make your own bathtub ceremony, but just really go for it. Go for it and be there, and almost feel like you're being observed. Feel like this is a live thing that it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and be on my phone and, just really engage. And the way that she described, as the water caresses your body and brings you this warmth, it's like, go through those processes of really feeling it. So
yeah, I was surprised at one point, but I'll keep that I'll keep that as a surprise. But that was my favorite part.
Right. So that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. We love you. Send us those 5-star reviews on iTunes. Give us your feedback, alex@intentionbeads.com. And until next week, have a wonderful, astrologically magical day. All right.
Bye, everybody.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control